Sometimes, there is a strange feeling when you are talking to someone and they are not really listening to you. They look at their phone, they interrupt you, or they just say, without understanding. And slowly, you start feeling like your words don't matter, like your presence is invisible. Today we are talking about something very deep, why people don't take us seriously, and how this affects our confidence, our communication, and even our English-speaking journey.
Yes, this feeling is very common. Many people experience this, but they don't talk about it. Sometimes you try to share your ideas, your opinions, your thoughts, but people ignore you or treat you like you're not important. This creates something called self-doubt. Self-doubt means not trusting your own abilities or value. And once self-doubt enters your mind, your behavior starts changing automatically.
Yes, I have noticed this. When someone ignores us again and again, we start speaking less, we start thinking more before talking, and sometimes we stop expressing ourselves completely. Why does this happen psychologically?
Good question. This happens because of something called validation. Validation means feeling accepted, respected, and heard by others. Human brain always wants validation. When people listen to us carefully, our brain feels safe. But when people ignore us, brain feels rejected. And rejection creates fear, hesitation, and insecurity. Insecurity means feeling not confident about yourself.
So basically, when someone ignores us, the problem is not just outside, something changes inside our mind too.
Exactly. And here is something very important. Many times, people think others ignore them because they're not smart, not good in English, or not confident enough. But the reality is deeper. Sometimes the problem is not your knowledge, but your energy, your communication style, your self-belief. People react to how you present yourself.
That is powerful. So, you mean if a person internally feels weak, people can sense it?
Yes, absolutely. Humans are very sensitive to signals. Your body language, your voice tone, your eye contact, everything sends a message. If your voice is unsure, if your words break, if your energy is low, people unconsciously stop taking you seriously. Unconsciously means without thinking. They don't even realize it.
This explains something interesting. Sometimes we already assume people will ignore us, and then exactly that happens.
Yes, this is called self-fulfilling prophecy. Self-fulfilling prophecy means when your belief creates your reality. If you believe people will ignore me, your behavior becomes nervous and people actually start ignoring you.
Wow, so the real problem starts inside the mind, not outside. And I think this also connects with English learning. Many learners feel people will judge their English, so they speak less, and because they speak less, their confidence never grows.
Exactly. Fear of judgment is very powerful. Judgment means forming an opinion about someone. When you fear judgment, you try to be perfect, and perfection creates pressure. Perfection means wanting everything to be without mistakes. But real communication is never perfect.
Yes, and I think many viewers listening right now may feel this is their story. Maybe they try to speak, but people interrupt them, maybe in office, school, friend circle, or even family conversations. And slowly, they start believing their voice has no value.
And that belief is dangerous. Because when you believe your voice does not matter, you stop growing. Your communication stops improving, your confidence becomes weaker, and your personality starts shrinking. Shrinking means becoming smaller or weaker. But here's the truth. Every strong communicator you see today once struggled with the same feeling. They were ignored, misunderstood, even laughed at, but they continued speaking.
So the solution is not to stop speaking, but to keep expressing ourselves even when people don't respond immediately.
Yes, because respect is not demanded, it is built slowly. When you consistently express your thoughts clearly, when your communication improves, when your self-belief becomes strong, people naturally start listening. Confidence is not loud behavior, it is calm clarity. Clarity means speaking in a clear and understandable way.
That is very deep. Confidence is calm clarity, not noise. And maybe English learning also works like this. You don't need perfect grammar. You need clear expression, simple words, and courage to speak.
Exactly. Language is a tool for connection, not a test of perfection. When you focus on sharing ideas, not avoiding mistakes, your communication becomes natural. And something interesting happens. People start respecting your words because they see authenticity. Authenticity means being real and genuine.
So maybe the real journey is not just learning English, but learning self-expression, learning self-respect, learning to trust our voice even when others don't notice immediately. Because when you change your inner belief, the world slowly changes its response.
Yes. And in our next discussion, we should talk about something even deeper. Why some people always feel invisible in groups and how social dynamics control conversations.
Sometimes the worst feeling is not when someone says something hurtful, but when they say nothing at all. That silence, that absence that slowly starts speaking inside your head. You check your phone again and again and again. No message, no reply, no reaction. And suddenly your mind starts creating stories. Did I say something wrong? Am I not important? Do they even care about me? This feeling is called overthinking. Overthinking means thinking about the same situation again and again, even when there is no clear answer, and it usually increases stress instead of solving the problem.
Yes, and what makes it more painful is the problem is not always real, but the emotions feel completely real. Your heart beats faster, your chest feels heavy, and your mind refuses to stop. Psychologists call this emotional amplification. It means your mind increases or exaggerates small situations and makes them feel bigger than they actually are. For example, someone replies late, and your brain converts delay into rejection. Someone stays quiet, and your brain interprets silence as dislike.
Exactly, and slowly this becomes a habit. You start connecting your self-worth with other people's reactions. Self-worth means how valuable or important you believe you are as a person. When your self-worth depends on others, every small action affects your peace. You begin to seek constant validation. Validation means approval or acceptance from others to feel confident about yourself. And when validation does not come, you feel ignored. You feel invisible. You feel replaceable.
And the dangerous part is the other person might not even know what you're going through. They might be busy, tired, distracted, or fighting their own problems. But your mind creates a different story, a story where you're always the one being ignored. This mental habit is known as negative assumption. It means believing the worst explanation without real evidence.
Let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever typed a message, deleted it, typed again, then deleted again, just because you were afraid how the other person would judge your English, your words, or your personality? You want to speak, but hesitation stops you. You want to express, but fear blocks you. That fear is called fear of judgment. It means worrying too much about what others will think about you. And this fear doesn't just stop communication, it stops growth.
Yes, especially when learning something new, like English. Many people stay silent not because they don't know, but because they are afraid of making mistakes. But mistakes are not failure. Mistakes are feedback. Feedback means information that helps you improve. Without feedback, improvement is impossible.
And this is exactly why in English learning you need a safe space. A place where you can speak slowly, think calmly, and learn without pressure. A place like English learning, Jahan Aap Aram Se Comfortable Hoker English Seektain, without fear, without judgment, just progress. Because confidence does not come from perfection. Confidence comes from practice.
But there is something even deeper here. Sometimes the real problem is not people ignoring you. The real problem is you ignoring yourself, ignoring your needs, ignoring your growth, ignoring your own voice. Psychology calls this self-neglect. It means not giving importance to your own emotional and mental well-being.
And when you ignore yourself for too long, you start expecting others to fill that empty space. You expect them to understand everything without explanation. You expect them to give importance without communication. And when expectations break, pain begins. Expectation means believing something will happen in a certain way. When expectations are unrealistic, disappointment becomes unavoidable.
So the question is not, why are they ignoring me? The real question is, why am I depending so much on their attention for my happiness? And once you start asking this question, something begins to change inside you.
Because the moment you understand this truth, you start building something powerful, something that cannot be controlled by others. But what exactly is that power? And how can you develop it in daily life? And once you start asking this question, something inside you slowly changes. You begin to realize your peace cannot depend on someone else's attention, your confidence cannot depend on someone else's response, and your growth cannot wait for someone else's approval. This understanding builds something very powerful inside you called emotional independence. Emotional independence means your feelings and happiness are controlled by your own thoughts, not by other people's behavior. When you become emotionally independent, you still care about people, but you don't lose yourself for them. You still love connection, but you don't fear silence.
Yes, and emotional independence grows when you start focusing on self-growth. Instead of checking who ignored you, you start checking how you improve today. Instead of waiting for replies, you start building your skills. This shift is called mindset shift. Mindset shift means changing the way you think about situations from negative thinking to growth thinking. For example, instead of thinking, they didn't reply, maybe I'm not important, you think, let me use this time to improve myself.
And when you focus on growth, something beautiful happens. Your confidence becomes natural, your communication becomes stronger, and your fear slowly disappears. Because confidence is not built by attention. Confidence is built by action. Small actions like speaking one English sentence daily, learning one new word daily, expressing one honest thought daily, these small steps create big change.
And remember, people who truly grow in life, they don't chase attention. Attention follows them naturally, because growth creates presence. Presence creates respect, and respect creates connection.
So if you ever feel ignored, don't panic, don't overthink. Pause for a moment, breathe, and ask yourself, what can I improve in myself right now? Because the moment you focus on self-growth, you stop feeling invisible and start becoming valuable. And now, thanks cute brothers and sisters for listening to this conversation. See you in the next episode.